Welcome everybody, my name is Poison Ducky and we're going to be playing as the Greenskins versus the High Elf Onslaught. I'm going to be using good old-fashioned Wurzag, the great green prophet dancing on his little feet. This is why you don't put him on a boar, so you can see the dancing animations. And we're going to be bringing the rock power with the rock gobbler build. Now let's see here. It's going to be a pretty simple front line. I have a lot of money invested in my artillery, so it's going to be orc boys in the front line with the Regiment of Renown, 8 peak loonies. Can't go wrong with the unbreakable gabos. A very small but effective archer line. The Daka is here with 2 orc arrow boys on each side and the rusty arrows just to have that armor sundering power. A few biggins to reinforce the back line, and some nasty skulkers to make sure that if they charge the back, they're not running away from me, and the biggins can deal the damage. I've got 2 units of Forest Goblin Spider Riders because they're just good. They cost 400, they have pretty good mass, they cause poison, and they're just so powerful for the cost. And another Night Goblin Shaman with the good old-fashioned gaze of Vindictive Glare. Really powerful magic missiles that deal a significant amount of damage, especially for the cost that they accrue on your Winds of Magic. Now my opponent over here, it is Croissant Tubert, another great community member among us. He's a very common person in the DBD Discord server, and I got to fight him, just meet him online in quick play, so this will be a fun one for sure. We got to chat and it was quite nice. Really nice to see another fun person online. He's going to have some Illyrian Reaver archers, very cost efficient skirmish cavalry. They have like this, for skirmish cavalry, they have some ridiculous stats at 32, 34. This is with martial prowess, of course. They lose it once they get a little low, but considering they have this on the charge and that skirmish cavalry don't fight very often until they are really needed, that's a lot of value you can get from such a powerful unit. A front line mixed of 3 spears and 3 white lions of trace. Now the white lions actually are a good choice here because they are armored and armor piercing, meaning the only infantry on the greenskin roster that can really deal with this are either black orcs or you're going to need some squig hoppers here. And I don't think it's very common to bring squig hoppers in this matchup, but you can already see the rocks raining down on the high elves. Those pointy ears never saw it coming. It may be simple technology, but quite effective. Now, we do have a princess on a star dragon. Now, this is what he was, I believe I was talking with Croissant Tuber before the match. He was trying out a build he hasn't tried before. And a princess on a star dragon is something you definitely don't see very often. More rocks flying into the distance, missing the dragon, of course, because dragons are kind of hard to see hit. But I wonder why you picked the princess over. I do know you have some specific abilities. A volley of high arrows, Talisman of Loic, the Star Dragon's Breath. Maybe it's the very... So I'm assuming this is very much like the Arrows of Cernunnos from the Wood Elves, and you can use it to deal a lot of damage to any sort of target. Another Handmaiden of the Ever Queen and a Mage of High on a chariot, so very powerful stuff, reinforced by a Silver Helms with Shield. Now, as I say that, I'm already starting to see why you pick a princess on a Star Dragon. It's because you want to snipe out your greenskin leadership. Let's see how I react to this. The quad rock lobber is going to start its volleys, and I'm going to use my magic missiles to hit the princess. I'm telling you, greenskin magic missiles are the best in the game. There's seriously nothing that can compare them. And because of this, he's going to be charging... Oh yes, he does have a unit of Tyrannok chariots. Something you also don't see very often. He's going to try to charge it and disrupt my Orc Arrow Boy line. But I intercept them with the Forest Goblin Spider Riders and get the nasty Skulkers to pop their Smoke Bomb. Minus 76 speed in conjunction with the poison equals 8 speed on a chariot. That is devastating. And that's a little bit of... While they're not the most expensive chariot in the world, losing that can be quite crucial as it loses the pressure you need on my archers. Now the Star Dragon is flying about. I really don't have any real ways to hurt it other than with magic missiles and some archer play, but Croissant Tuber, knowing that he cannot fly above any archers, he's going to go around and try to find some opportune breath attacks, which he's going to do right here, and there goes the Rock Gobbler. I actually did a lot less damage. Luckily, they're not that sorted, but you do have a huge leadership hit. Now, the Orc Daka line is starting to go. I'm just trying to fire at these White Lines of Trace and these Spearmen while I finally get these Tyrannok chariots off the field. But I still notice these sneaky Silver Helms right on the left flank. That can be very dangerous if not kept in check. Now, the good old princess is going to fly over and going to be firing her bow on Wurzag. Now I'm going to pop the wall here because the front line is sort of charging here. I do have my Orc Boys versus Spearmen and my Biggins trying to stop these white lines. And I'm firing rocks into these, and I actually hit my own Orc Biggins. That's Greenskin play for you, but I think the biggest issue for me playing as Greenskins right now is so much damage on Wurzag. He's at half health, taking constant archer fire from both the Princess and the Handmaiden of the Everqueen. So it's a very common strategy to snipe the Lords of the Greenskins because their Lords are actually quite powerful if you bring Wurzag or Azag. If it's Grimgor or Skarsnik, yeah, losing them is kind of an issue because of the leadership problems, but it's really, if you lose Wurzag or Azag, you lose some of your most powerful magic abilities. Now, it's at this point I fire all my arrows, and yes, I am using the artillery to hit a dragon. When he stays still like that, if they get hit, they actually get staggered, which means you can get more consecutive hits. Look at this. All this fire, and the Princess is actually leaving. Another magic missile, and this Princess just got clobbered by these rock lobber catapults. It's something you just do not see every day. Artillery hitting dragons, yeah, it's a thing. It can happen. Just don't stand too still, because the second you're hit, you get staggered, and it's just game over. Now, the White Lions are going to get into my back line and defeat my archers while I'm just trying to chase as fast as I can with my Biggins. There's not too many large targets here, so the Biggins can be used as an anti-infantry role, and they have the stats to do it. 40, 30, quite powerful. The bonus versus large doesn't really go into effect against White Lions, but it's good enough that their numbers can deal a several amount of damage to the White Lions. Now the front line here, he's blobbing up. The catapults are like, please blob up. And of course, when you throw them, they hit my goblins instead, or hit the Handmaiden all the way in the distance. I'm going to try to get my Nasty Skulkers into here because Nasty Skulkers are one of the few armor-piercing units I have in terms of infantry that can deal with the White Lions. But I forgot, it's the Silver Helms getting their majestic charge into my poor goblins. Silver Helms are probably, well, not the most cost-effective cavalry in the game. They are such a beautiful one. Like, look at the way they hold their lances and their just pointy ears. But I'm going to get my non-elegant Forest Goblin Spider Riders, charge them into the back, apply that poison, and they're already down to 7 speed in combination with that smoke bomb. They're going to take a lot of damage if they do not leave immediately, because those Orc Boys are going to come to reinforce, along with some archer fire over in the distance from my Ducka line. The Orc Boy Biggins and the Orc Boys have him completely surrounded, and the Silver Helms are already out. Now, the Princess did actually come back a good amount of healing from Apotheosis from the High Mage, and he's getting the picks that he needs. He's taking out my infantry, he's using terror routes, because Greenskins have a terrible time with these terror routes. But I've still got magic missiles, and magic missiles can hit princesses all day long, because I may have lost Wurzag, but I still have my Night Goblin as Shaman, which is invisible, by the way, until you get close to. My Daka line's still intact, and I believe I have, like, what, 1, maybe 2 Goblin Rock Lobbers still online. Yeah, I have 2 Rock Goblins alive, so I still have the artillery pressure. And all that rock pressure is actually starting to not only rout, but break and shatter those units. Now, of course, it's going to be an issue with the Princess, but the one thing that my High Elf opponent hasn't quite done yet is dealt with my Orc Daka line. I still have a good amount of Rusty Arrows and 2 units, although one of them not very healthy, of Orc Arrow Boys, and they will destroy that Princess in a matter of seconds, especially mixed in with some Orc Boys. I'm surprised they didn't actually rout. And with that, I believe the balance of power is firmly in my favor, and I don't think the High Elves have anything left to do. Poor Wurzag. I forgot where's his body, but he just got sniped to oblivion, only got 1 wall off, and I didn't get to use my Foot of Gork. Princess is going to charge into my Orc Biggins, but smoke bomb going off. I think the biggest difference between a decent and the best Greenskin player is probably the use of Nasty Skulkers, as they're just such an effective unit. The ability to stop people is just, I think they're probably one of the best units on the Greenskin roster, but let's see how my units do in terms of efficiency and kills. Now, poor Wurzag, as you saw earlier, 1 kill, he got sniped really fast. It's just the way you kill greenskins. It's tried and tested, and I don't blame anybody for trying to use this. My greenskin orc boys, 80 kills on this one. He must have fought some spearmen or something, and they did quite a good job for just cheap orc boys. Now, my nasty skulkers may not have many kills, but they are actually the only reason I really won this game, because they can stop the Tyrnok chariots, they can stop the silver helms, and they can make sure the chariots and all sort of backline pressure cannot get into my catapults and archers as effectively as they can. My orc biggins, 100 kills on this guy's. These, like, considering the numbers of the high elves, 600 versus 1300, getting 100 kills on one unit of orc biggins is quite just brutal. 65 on the unbreakable gabos. And these I was using most of the rusty arrows to mainly fire at the princess and at white lions, so they have low kill count, but they were used to armor sunder so that my non-armor piercing infantry can deal the job. And of course the quad rock lobber, 23, 13, 19, and 14. Not very high numbers, but considering you're chucking it at a dragon, I think they're high enough. And of course, the good old-fashioned forest goblin spider riders. So good game to Croissant Tubert. I hope to see you again on some sort of online ladder, or maybe I'll see you in a King of the Hill. So I hope you guys liked the video. Leave a like if you do, and subscribe if you want more. I'll catch you guys later.